Trump wins, markets soar, Ivy League students cry. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, the 10th of November. And what a week it was. And President Donald Trump did win the election. And there is no doubt about it. But there is one question I do have about the election. And that is, in 2020, we had two candidates that ran. And there was they both had over 80 million votes. Supposedly, this was a record election, yet the total vote count was 135 million versus 160 million. What happened to the other 25 million votes? Just a thought, just a question. And isn't it amazing that miraculously, other than Letitia Jones, all the lawsuits have disappeared, all the criminal prosecution has disappeared. So maybe a lot of it was election rhetoric and election bullshit. Because magically Jack Smith has dropped his suits and things, and all these things have suddenly disappeared. And is it that they're afraid of what the president may do now? And again, we will not give President Trump a pass either if he doesn't do what we believe to be the right things, and we'll talk about it here as we always do and I always have. So now that he is the president, I am hoping that he does what he should have done last time. And first of all, keep his mouth shut, but to actually take care of the deep state and take care of all of the swindling and stealing that we get through the wars that we have been involved in and through every other little method of them stealing. The deep state, all those things are things that now need to be addressed. He's got one shot at it. He's got one term. He's got the House and he's got the Senate. So we should see, hopefully, the ending of this illegal immigration, the finishing of building the wall, which means more money in your pocket. Okay, that's the bottom line. Is the funding for illegals and everything else has been a major problem. And of course, now Eric Adams, the New York City mayor, who's under some stuff of his own, maybe he's looking for a pardon from Trump. But in the meantime, he is ready to work with Trump, he says, and he's ending the vouchers for illegals. Now, again, I think that other cities and other states should take that same tack to end us paying for illegal immigration. You want to come into this country? Great. Come in the right way and quit coming in illegally, which is why I hope that they put the border together. But you've got lots of issues. Now, again, listen, I'm not telling you that the markets are going to collapse. I've never said that they're collapsing tomorrow. I stand by my prediction that there is a big meltdown coming. But however, and I am not telling you that it's going to happen tomorrow. And so far, those who listen to the program, I said that if Trump won, there would be a big rally first, and then I would expect a sell-off. And that's what I would expect. I would expect at some point here we'll see some selling. Now, we are in the most bullish quarter of the year. We are in a market that continues to run. Many people are calling it a bubble, and I'm not going to say that it's necessarily a bubble. But again, people don't understand, and they call things a bubble when they have nothing else to call it. Okay. Right now, they're just buyers. The money supply is saturated, and the people that have money are putting it in. Unfortunately, the middle class is in a major disaster, and it's getting worse. So again, hopefully, President Trump will be able to help with some of those things. Global food prices accelerate for the second month. Again, inflation is going higher. Okay, the Fed is a bunch of morons. Okay, and my banker friend, who I'm sure I'm going to hear from, okay, the Fed has caused this overall inflation with all their bullshit and talking about 2%, which is a stupid number to begin with. They are causing this inflation because the money that they are lending, and for those who do not understand, the federal funds rate is which the interest rate that you're hearing about is the rate at which banks borrow from the Federal Reserve, which means at the rate which they borrow our money. Okay, remember, because we are the taxpayer. The Fed doesn't make money. Government doesn't make money. They make debt. We, the taxpayer, fund the Fed and fund the government. Okay, and they loan the money out, which is fine. But of course, the banks do not have to pass on the rate cut to you, the American citizen, okay, to you, the borrower. So all that's really happening right now with rates still going higher, and I remind you that on September 18th, the 10-year notes were 3.4%. As of today, they are, hold on one second, I'm going to give it to you, I should have looked it up earlier. As of now, they are 4.3. Okay, so they've gone up a dramatically huge amount from where they should be. Mortgage rates have been higher and are continue to go higher. So where is the benefit for the average American? Okay, so remember, you're getting fucked by the banks and the Fed. Okay, but of course the Fed owns the banks because look who the board members are, and of course who started the Fed: Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, Rothschilds, and Paul Warburg. Okay, now again, the new home for Hispanics looks like it's going to be the Republican Party. I mean, there's always been a mix there, but I think, again, I do believe that many minorities finally woke up and figured out that the free phone and the welfare isn't enough for what they can actually do. But we'll see. Jay Powell says Donald Trump couldn't fire me even if he tried. Well, there's a lot of debate on that. And I'm not saying he should be fired or he shouldn't be fired. We know President Trump, right? He goes after and targets things. The law is not clear on what he can and cannot do, okay? And I'm not saying one way or the other, okay? I'm just saying that there's going to be a lot of rhetoric about this, okay? And I don't know what's going to happen, okay? And I don't know that, and as I said, the law is not clear. But this, what I found was amazing. The devastated classes at Harvard, Penn, Columbia, Swarthmore, and others canceled over the Trump win. Are you fucking kidding me? That we are canceling classes because President Trump is the president? Doesn't that tell you that there's something wrong with this society when you cannot cope, when you go away from the progressive bullshit garbage economy and trying to go to globalization and communism or socialism, and now you go back to the potential of true capitalism. Now again, this is not going to change overnight. We're not getting back to the absolute free markets overnight, okay? But in a real world, in a true free market, asset classes will price themselves. There is no need for the Federal Reserve. And I would hope that we would do something about the Federal Reserve, not about Jerome Powell. I don't care about that. I believe the Fed should be ended or at least have a true natural audit that nobody ever does, okay? This is the same that goes for the banks that don't get audited. Okay, they come out with this bullshit stress test, which is total garbage. Okay, because again, remember who's in charge and what's going on. Okay, but in the meantime, you know what? I have pronouns for those that are weeping from them. We won. Those are my pronouns. We won. Screw the they and the them and the this and the bullshit. And I understand. I'm getting tired of watching that shit on TV too. It's really making a lot of the TV programs unwatchable because I don't believe that entertainment should have a political angle to it. But that's a story for another day. A judge strikes down a federal rule protecting illegal immigrants married to U.S. citizens. I think that's a good rule. Look, if you ask me, okay, and you didn't ask me, but if you ask me, okay, I think the people that are here, however they got here, okay, there's not a lot you can do, okay? I would like to see the deportation, but I also think that people have been here that are working and not on government welfare and not on the government payroll and not criminals should be granted amnesty and should be made citizens. Again, look, I think it's more to send them away. But again, the criminals and the ones that aren't working and the ones that are living off the taxpayer money, they need to be gone. Okay. Again, I said this last election. I said that the election before. We have to start somewhere, and I don't think a wholesale deportation of everybody, because there's some very good people in this country that are not legal, that would like to be legal, but again, it's very challenging. And again, either way, at the end of the day, border it off, build a wall, let's keep the rest out. I can't take any more of it, okay? And certainly get rid of it and deport or jail the criminals, okay? That's what I think Trump brings back is law and order. But I think another thing you have is the clean house. And hopefully President Trump will clean house. Again, we have the deep state. Now, believe it or not, Soros, I don't know if you saw some of the comments from Alex Soros, who doesn't understand, well, really understands because he's part behind it all. Okay. His father is behind much of it, and we've got some big problems. Okay. Listen, when Harris and Biden were in office, they weren't pulling the trigger. They were puppets for the deep state. Okay. You can believe it. You can say that I'm a conspiracy theorist. Either way, I do believe there's a deep state, and I do believe there's a cabal, and I do believe the Fed is a cartel. Okay. That is what I believe. So hopefully President Trump will clean house. I would love to see it. Okay. And I would love to see him do his job and take care of the middle class and help the American taxpayer. I think that energy and I think you're going to see that the price of gasoline is going to get cut in half. Okay. I think natural gas will be cheaper. Okay. It's already pretty cheap, but I think it will be cheaper. And of course, now that we're going to start exporting liquefied natural gas to Europe, we now can put some pressure on Russia. Now we can legitimately put some pressure on Russia. I mean, the progressives are ridiculous. Okay. Again, anybody who wants what the progressives want, and that's the biggest mandate of the squad, who are a bunch of fucking idiots as well, that want to take away your free America. Okay. And if you want to give up your freedom, that's the way you go. But I think you're going to find that through this term, and we'll see, I could be wrong, but we'll see what happens through this term. But I think that you're going to see a very aggressive President Trump that's going to do everything that he had talked about and promised. And now he can do it without the ramifications of looking for a second term, because he ain't getting one. This is it. Okay. So hopefully this is it. And hopefully he doesn't have to worry about campaigning because he's there. So hopefully he will do the things that he promised he will do. And if he does, I think he will be the best president of our time. If he does what he says he's going to do. Now that I can't promise he's going to do that. And if he doesn't, you will hear about it from me. Okay. But the Fed is at fault for the inflation. Okay. The rate cut on Thursday was stupid. Okay. The rate cut a month ago was stupid because, again, it has not helped anybody. All it has done, well, it actually has helped the government. It helped reset their debt so that their loan payments will be lower. It also spiked and increased inflation, which means that you're paying more taxes, not income tax, but you're paying more federal tax at the stores, the gas station, and everywhere you buy. Look at your bills, see the federal tax. It's a percentage. The higher you pay, the bigger the piece of percentage, the more that goes to the government. So bottom line, I'm thrilled Trump won, and I am thrilled that I think he's going to do a great job. So, excuse me, let's see how it plays out. And let's listen, we're one America. Okay. Let's hope that we can get back to being Americans and get rid of all the bullshit that we're watching, because you can already see a lot of the blue states are already talking about non-cooperation. Let's hope that we get this together, because there are more red states. It's just the blue states, there's more population. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 10th of November. We're going to step out of a break. We'll be right back with more after the break. What up, kids? How's everything going? I hope that the election result was what you wanted. I know many of you didn't like it from all the hate mail I get, but that's cool. Again, I never told you that you were wrong, that you shouldn't have an opinion, and I think that it's all good. I do believe that we should have the freedom to vote, and if you remember, last week I told you, go out and vote. I don't care you vote for a vote. In the meantime, you know we are sponsored, and we have brokerage sponsors, and we have a brand new physical gold and silver and metal sponsor. Okay. And of course, for those of you who listen to me and watch me on Daniela Cambone, it is her company that she works with. And of course, so check them out. Learn.itmtrading.com/Bubba. That's learn.itmtrading.com/Bubba. Again, they got great stuff, great deals, great prices, and great service. So check them out. And don't forget about Capital Trading Group, which is our futures and commodities broker. They're partners with us in a lot of products. They do great stuff. Okay. And they take care of you, best customer service. And of course, don't forget Trader Brokerage, which saves me about $100,000 a year at $10 a month flat. Options and equities. It's a great program. Our automation goes to them. And in the meantime, again, I have other brokers, just in full disclosure, but check them out and don't forget about our high school program. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 10th of November. And of course, we have football today. We got markets that had soaring record highs. We made record highs in all markets, and of course, it's been a wild ride. And as we thought, the markets would really react and love that President Trump was there, and you saw Bitcoin explode to all-time new highs. So unfortunately, we're short it now, but at the end of the day, let's make the run and see. I think markets will be much healthier now. Hopefully, we'll see much more activity. And I think that there'll be some more restrictions to tamp down some of the bullshit from the banks. But in the meantime, let's check it out. And of course, the four major indices were all exploded higher. We were actually short the Dow until Tuesday, which was perfect. We've been flat, the indexes overall, until on Friday we did get short the Russell, which was actually lower on the day. And of course, we are shorted now. In the currency markets, the dollar, we don't trade it, but the dollar exploded higher, which is interesting. But of course, Trump is for a strong dollar. And of course, that talks about tariffs and everything else is going to happen. And I'm all for tariffs. I mean, tariffs were a big part of the economy until 1962. And I'm not worried about the rest of the world. I'm worried about us. I'm worried about the United States of America. That's who I'm worried about. Okay. I'm worried about my kids and your kids. So I don't mind a strong dollar, and I'd like to obviously see, because we've got all the talk of the dollar replacement. In the meantime, the euro currency, which we are long, was lower. Bonds and notes were kind of mixed for the week, but obviously they've gotten clobbered over the time because, of course, when you look at it, okay, interest rates have gone straight up, which means the bond futures and note futures have gone down. In the meantime, we are long both bonds and notes. Bitcoin exploded higher, okay. Got up to like 78,000. Okay, and again, I have no reason to believe it won't go a lot higher, but I would certainly expect a pullback, and we are short. Gold and silver had a little bit of a rough week, and gold's back under 2,700. Again, I think this is perfectly healthy and perfectly natural. We are short gold and silver, and it's got nothing to do. Again, remember, any trade that I talk about is not whether I want to be that I'm negative long term. It is what I think right now. Okay, I'm a long term gold and silver bull. In the meantime, gold and silver were both lower, and of course we're short both all week. Platinum we don't trade, but we would have been short. It's too thin for us to trade. Copper is lower. We would have been long, but when we were flat most of the week. Grain markets we were short corn all week, and would have been short them all. But again, we're getting into the area of buy setups now in soybeans and wheat and corn, of course. The meats got hammered a little bit, and of course I'm still short cattle myself, and I'm flat the hogs now. That has nothing to do with anybody else. Crude, crude was lower on the week. I expect it to go lower. I expect to see crude oil back, not now, not probably till, let's say next March or whatever. But I firmly expect crude to be back under 50 at some point here. It doesn't mean there won't be a rally first, but I do expect it to be back under 50. Natural gas is hovering around. It's, warm winter. A lot of reasons why natural gas isn't higher, but I think that natural gas does have a potential. Now, we would be long it. We haven't been in it, but we would be long. And I would expect it to go higher at some point here. I'd like to see it dip down so I could buy a little bit more. But at the end of the day, again, I think that you're going to look and we're going to start to see some pressure come on these markets. You've seen China try to do some stimulus, not working very well. So the world economy appears to be in some trouble. There's over $100 trillion in debt globally. Okay. And again, I think that we're in a problem. I think we're in a recession. That's been my opinion all along, and I don't think that's changed. So we'll see how it plays out. In the meantime, let us step out here for our final break and come back with our commentary and, of course, our football picks. Bubba's Bottom Line, Sunday, November the 10th. Well, kids, again, just a reminder, we have a new gold and silver for physical metals. ITM, learn.itmtrading.com/Bubba. That's learn.com. It's learn.itmtrading.com/Bubba. And of course, Capital Trading Group, our futures and futures and commodities. And of course, TRADIER brokerage in our high school program. Check them out. They're on the site. You can see them scrolling around on the back here. In the meantime, let's get back to the show and get back to my commentary and, of course, our football picks. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, November the 10th. It is a football Sunday. There's a game that's already gone. And of course, as always, I give you some of my commentary. And I think that, I'm very happy that Trump won. And I'm not happy for me, not happy because I was right, but happy because I do believe deep in my heart that President Trump does have the best interest of this country in play. I think it's interesting how all the lawsuits drifted away now. And so as of now, there are no encumbrances. Okay. And hopefully we will see Trump do what he said he's going to do. And I think that he will. Okay. And hopefully we will see more of a return of freedom of speech, more of a return of freedom of markets, and we will see more prosperity for everybody. So far, from what I can tell, the transition looks like it could be smooth. There was not any violence that I know of, but hopefully that this country, we will go back to law and order. Hopefully we will go back to closing the borders. Hopefully we'll go back to thinking about America first, because those are the things that I want. I am so sick and tired of all the bullshit that we have watched over the last 4 years, from the we, they, the pronouns that you have to teach, the colleges that they teach, again, the one-sided teaching, I think is a problem. And I think that's always been a problem. Again, whether you be a liberal or whether you be a conservative, which is why I'm a libertarian. But at the end of the day, I believe that we need to have a free country, okay? And we should teach all sides of everything. And I think that we need to keep our history so that we are not dumb enough to repeat it, because certainly we were on target and on path to repeat some of the bad history in this world and in this country with the past administration. So let's all hope. Hopefully you're Americans first before you're a Republican and Democrat. So let's all hope that President Trump follows and does his promises, makes them good. And let's hope America becomes better, because it was certainly good the first time around. Let's hopefully we get better the second time around. And that is where we see it. And in the meantime, it is a football Sunday. And of course, we only like 2 games today: the Detroit Lions and the New York Jets. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you back here again tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, and again next weekend with Bubba's Bottom Line. And veterans, I salute you, because tomorrow is Veterans Day, and happy Veterans Day to you.